Hi everyone, Happy New Year. This is Andre. Today we're going to talk about what are you supposed to feel during acupuncture. So I know acupuncture is, people see it as a type of needle and it hurts a lot, but actually it's not true. It's when you compare it to like a flu shot, it's actually much less painful. One, because the injection needle is 10 times thicker than the acupuncture needle, and second, when you experience more pain during a flu shot or any type of vaccine shot, it's because of the medicine that goes into your body. So have you had an experience that you accidentally cut yourself without knowing it until you started to bleed a little bit? So it happens when you cut yourself, when the action is so fast that you don't feel anything. So same thing goes with acupuncture. Like when the needle goes through your skin in a very fast speed, you actually feel much less than when it goes in very slow. So because our skin has lots of nerves and blood vessel, so when the needle is going through the superficial layer, that's where the most nerves are, and people generally feel a bit of like a pinch type of sensation for about 2 to 3 seconds, then it goes away after that. So if you haven't had an acupuncture session, it's not something very painful. It's not a torture for 30 minutes. Basically, inserting the needles will only, at the most, will be hurting for 2-3 seconds. And so after the needles are being inserted, after it penetrates the superficial skin, it'll go into your muscle layer or your fascia layer. So that's the time when you might see your acupuncturist doing some hand technique. It could be a thrusting or lifting or even twisting or any combination of those, because we're trying to achieve a feeling. It's called 得气, which is spelled as like that, DEQI, 得气. So it just means that with the needles, we're trying to activate the acupuncture point. When it's activated, we call this 得气 sensation, and the sensation may include you being achy, or you feeling heavy or sore or numb, and sometimes you might feel the area is warming up or the area is losing heat or getting cold. So there are many techniques. Some techniques are intentionally to create this warming sensation. It's good for somebody who has a cold syndrome or cold type of constitution. The cold sensation is the technique is good for reducing heat, clearing heat. So for somebody who maybe has a fever or has a heat syndrome or have a sunstroke or things like that, if your disease is heat in nature and we want to release the heat, we generally would do like a reduced method, reduced technique to induce this cold sensation. It's the warm and cold sensation are generally not very easy to achieve. It does require a lot of practice and experience. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to do that on demand. So, but it's there are some people whose practice are very focused on this type of sensation. And a couple of months ago, I went to a seminar. The instruction there at that seminar was able to produce this feeling of warming sensation what she did was she took a small needle and inserted at the base of your skull, and the warming sensation can actually goes to behind your eyes. So it's very good for like high glaucoma or cataract or any of the eye disease. So she had been practicing for many years to get an understanding of how to achieve this sensation. So it's not an easy thing to do. So it takes many years of practice to do that. Very interesting. So after the needles are being inserted, you have the qi feeling, the acupuncture points being activated, and that's the time when we leave the needles in the body to let them do their work. For me, it generally takes about 20 to 30 minutes. I think that's quite norm. That's average in our industry. Some people leave it shorter, some people leave it longer. It also depending on the patient's constitution. So if patient is weaker, we might not retain this for such a long time. If someone is stronger, we can leave them in for a little bit longer, because each needle is using your body's own energy to heal itself. So if acupuncturists use too many needles, weaker patient, it can end up draining the patient's energy and without getting a good result. So basically, if let's say for you, before you do some physical labor, you should have a lot of energy and stamina before you can do more work. If you're hungry, you're weak, you're not able to do more. If I ask you to do more labor work at that state, then you're gonna end up very tired, very weak, or sleepy. And sometimes patients even feel dizzy because of that. And so after about 20-30 minutes of needle retention, actually during this time, some sensitive patient might feel minor things changing in their body. They might feel their blood flowing. One patient described it as they feel like their body is like a race car circuit, and the little cars are starting to run. Or when I insert a needle to certain acupuncture point, they could feel another part of their body, the muscle relaxing or being opened up. So it's quite interesting. So after 20 to 30 minutes, depending on what the patient, sometimes we will see these two phenomena. So one being the needle being actually gets sucked in by the patient. So the muscle kind of, your body pulls the needles in because it means your body actually needs this acupuncture needle to do its work. So at this time, if I try to remove it, try to pull it out, I would need more force, and I'll find the muscle grabbing on the needle. So if I see this situation, I generally let the needle sit for a few more minutes until the body says, okay, that's enough. Yeah, you done your work. I don't need you anymore. Then I'll take it out. But there are situations like this. After 20 minutes, initially I probably insert it at this depth. And after 20 minutes, 30 minutes, I see the needle being pushed out by the body. So you might even see the skin kind of pushes out a little bit. It just tells me that, okay, the body had enough, and it doesn't need the needle anymore, and that's why it's pushing it out. So when I take this needle out, it just slides right out. There's no grabbing. I don't need any force at all, and the patient don't feel anything. On the other hand, if I try to force this out, patient will feel more pain. So that's basically how it goes down during an acupuncture session. If you have any questions, feel free to leave it below, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. So I'll see you next time, and enjoy your new year.